was within, I think, 4 or 6 points in the championship race, so there's a lot on the line. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I had a lot to race for. Didn't get the best start in the main event, so I think I was 4th or 5th, and I was okay with where I was. I knew that it was going to be a long race.
Right in front of him, and Joe Hunter isn't just going to roll over. And Cameron McAdoo gets elected.
The first lap just came out of the back section before the over and under bridge, and there was a triple double, and I hit the double and I hit a kicker on the face of the double, and it just threw me over the bars. I just felt like I was flying, and it was just crazy loud, obviously, and I felt the big impact of hitting the bridge, and then I really wasn't sure where I was flying, where I was gonna end up. When I landed on top of the bridge and, I pushed my visor up and started looking around, I was like, holy crap, how did I end up all the way up here? I hurt my shoulder pretty bad, and I smashed my hand. My bars went into my leg so hard that I had such a bad contusion on my thigh that I couldn't really move it, and I couldn't really breathe very well. I knocked the wind out of myself pretty bad. And my first thought was like, dang it, it's over. That was really my first thought, was that my championship was over. If you don't finish a race in such a short series, then your chances at the championship are pretty slim. Yeah, disappointment was the biggest feeling.
Very serious situation, as they are more concerned about the health and well-being of Cameron McAdoo right now than this race.
The race was red flagged because the officials felt that it was dangerous for multiple medics and myself to be up there while the race was going on. And the over and under bridge is like straight up and down, so for them to get me down off there, I had to be able to somewhat walk, with some assistance from them.
Get the Alpine Stars medical team up there, and that is a great sight to see Cameron McAdoo up and standing.
I think the moment that I realized that I felt that I was capable of going back and continuing racing was when I was walking down the bridge with the medics, and I realized I could walk on my own power. I was in a clear headspace. I knew what was going on. I knew I wasn't concussed. I was kind of at that point telling them, like, I'm good, I got it. Like, where's my bike?
I mean, that is.
My mechanic had my bike just a little ways down the concrete thing, and I told him, I was like, hey, get back to the starting line, like, we're racing. And he was like, are you sure? Like, what? He was super confused at what was going on, and I'm like, go.
No, he's not going back, is he?
No, you can't. No way.
He's on his bike.
Come on.
He's lining up.
I got back on the starting line, and we waited a long time, actually, because they were waiting for the decision of the AMA whether they were gonna let me race or not.
And Todd, I just got news that he has been cleared by the Alpine Stars medical unit here to ride.
There was a lot of pain that I was dealing with, but at the same time, adrenaline helps you through a lot of things. So I was just focused on doing the best I could possibly do. Yeah, we came out of the start. I actually came down the first straightaway leading. I got ran wide a little bit in the second corner, so I ended up, I think, coming out 4th or 5th.
Interesting to see if he can keep holding up the charge here of Cameron McAdoo.
And at one point, the pass is done as McAdoo goes to the inside on the sand. McAdoo gets past more space in the third.
Made my way to second and rode in second for the most of the race, and then with 2 laps to go, I was losing a lot of strength in my leg most of the time, but that's no reason. But I ended up getting past for third. On the podium and finished the race third. It kept me in the championship fight, and that was huge because 30 minutes prior to that, I wasn't sure that I was going to finish racing that night. Obviously, being able to have a podium finish you know, makes it a little bit easier to deal with some pain and get in some ice baths and do therapy for the next 4 days leading up to the next race. And we had Atlanta 3, which was the next race on Saturday night. Tough to get my body going again, and I was so sore. And I was actually at the end of my last practice session, just barely came up short on a quad, and it stung my leg super bad, and I basically kind of lost a lot of the strength in my leg when it happened. And the next triple after that, I kind of went off of it sideways and like basically fell off the side of my bike in the air and went head over heels on the triple. Had a big crash at the very end of my last practice. It was the very last thing that I needed to happen for me. I came out of the first start in the main event. I think I was right around 6th.
To the front. Who's gonna go with it? Oh, and already down Cameron McAdoo.
Honestly, like the way, you know, I was raised, my upbringing of never quitting, it's the way my mom is, my dad is. My older sister, she's in the Navy. She's a badass. She's, you know, the person I look up to probably the most in this world. I was like, we're not gonna quit. You know, whatever this result may be, it doesn't matter how bent my bike is, doesn't matter, you know, I'm not gonna feel bad for myself. So I did everything I could to salvage the rest of that race. We ended up getting 13th in Atlanta 3, so that was a bummer. That was a tough one to swallow, but you know, honestly, what makes it a little bit easier to deal with is that I know that I put my best foot forward every single time I went on the track. 22 points back right now going into the final round, so the championship's pretty far out of reach. I mean, anything's possible. It can still happen. I'm gonna go to the final round in Salt Lake and do the same thing I do every weekend. I'm gonna go race to win, put my best foot forward, and give my bosses what they hired me for. You know, to go back and rewatch it,